So now I want to talk about finding the x and y-intercepts of a line given its equation. So let's first talk about what the x and y-intercepts actually are. So the x-intercept is the place where the graph crosses the x-axis. So it's going to be some point along the x-axis, and you know that points along the x-axis are of the form some number, comma, 0. So it'll be like a, comma, 0. So the y-intercept is basically the same thing but with y, so it's the y-intercept. It's where the graph crosses the y-axis, and it's of the form 0, comma, b, which you should be familiar with because we've done a lot of graphing equations using slope-intercept form, so y equals mx plus b. So it's 0, comma, b. It's along the y-axis, and it's some point right on here. So if you have an equation and you want to find the x and y intercepts, then this is what you can do. So let's say we have the equation negative 4x plus 3y equals 12. Now, I want us to just notice that 0, no matter what the x-intercept is, the y-coordinate for that point is always 0. So if we plug in 0 for y, we can get the x-intercept. Whatever x equals, that'll be the x-intercept. That's because the x-intercept point is always the point where x is equal to something but y is equal to 0. So we can plug in 0 for y, and then we can solve it for x. So 3 times 0 equals 12. We have negative 4x plus. Okay, so then we'll get negative 4x equals 12, and then divide by negative 4. So we get x equals negative 3. So in this case, x equals negative 3. Oops, that's not right. In this case, x equals negative 3 and y equals 0. That is our x-intercept. So that is the x-intercept. Okay, now we can do the same thing for y. So we can, but the opposite really. So in the y-intercept, x is always equal to 0. The x-coordinate of that point is always equal to 0. So if you want to find out what it is, you can plug in 0 for x, and then we'll figure out what y is, and that will be our y-intercept. So here we go. All right, so if you plug in 0 for x, then you get negative 4 times 0 plus 3 times y equals 12. And then we want to, this is just 0, so we just get 3y equals 12. So then we can divide both sides by 3. So then y equals 4. So then our y-intercept is 0, comma 4. That is our y-intercept. And it's 0, comma 4. Okay. So here our x-intercept is negative 3, comma 0. And that's how we find the x and y-intercepts using the function, using the equation. another important thing to note is that once you have 2 points on a graph, you can actually graph, or 2 points of a line, you can actually graph that line. So this is kind of a shortcut for graphing lines sometimes. If you know both of the intercepts, you can just draw the line between those 2 points, and that's the graph of this line, negative 4x plus 3y equals 12. The graph of that line is right here, and we just graphed it just by finding the intercepts.